bills payable. Firm's liability on account of bills payable is decreasing, but firm's liability is getting converted in the form of A's capital account. So our journal entry comes out to be A's capital account to bills payable account. So children, there is no role of revaluation account here. Revaluation account will come into picture only when we have increase or decrease in the value of asset or liability. Fine. Now, if he takes to accept the bills payable, he said, I'll take these bills payable at 60,000. Fine. So there is a decrease in the value of bills payable. Fine. So this decrease now has to be recorded through revaluation account. Once we have decreased the value of bills payable, then those bills payable at decreased value will be taken by A. Fine. So you have to keep this in mind that whenever an asset and liability is being taken over by A, at what value is being taken over. If it is taken over at decreased value, then decrease in the value is to be done through revaluation account. And if it is at an increased value, then also increase in the value is to be done through revaluation account. Fine. So I'll be passing two journal entries here. Bills payable. First, I'll decrease the value of bills payable. By how much amount? 6,000. Fine. 66. They were appearing at 66. Now I have valued them at 60. That means I have to bring down the value by 6,000 to revaluation account. And now these liabilities will be taken over by A at 60,000. I've written it wrong. It is A's capital account to bills payable, not revaluation. Now, an asset is now being taken over by the partner. Asset is being taken over by the partner. Stock is appearing at 40,000. Now, A agreed to take over the stock. Now, you tell me the journal entry. If a partner is taking over the stock, what will be the journal entry? What will be the journal entry for stock or any asset? Yes, very good, Chaitanya. He's the first one to answer nowadays. Yes, good. Getting the correct answers. What will be the journal entry for stock or any asset being taken over by A? What happened? Only few correct answers. If an asset is taken over by A, then A's capital account is going to be, our stock is going to be reduced. So we are going to credit stock, and A's capital account is going to be decreased because now A owes the amount to the firm. Fine. So it's simple. You are decreasing the asset. You just cover one aspect. If you are decreasing the asset, it is going to be credited. So what is going to be debited? It is A's capital account. Now decide the entry for this. Stock was taken over by A at 50,000. Yes, tell me the entry for this. Stock was taken over by A at 50,000. Now he's not taking at 45. He's taking the stock. Stock was valued at 50, and then A was given this stock at, yes, entry is correct. I want the amount as well with the amount. Yes, very good. Good. Amount is also correct. Yes, very good. Getting the correct answer. Someone has sent the wrong answer, I think. No, it is just a typing error because one, Ayushi, there's a typing error, I think. That is not a mistake. 5,000. Yes, correct. Very good. Stock account debited to revaluation. I first have to increase the value of the stock. Fine. Once I have increased the value of the stock, this stock at increased value will be taken over by A. A's capital account to stock account. Fine. A's capital account to stock account. Now, if he takes it at 40,000, then accounting is nothing but the simple journal entries. Once you understand the accountancy through journal entries, the concepts remains clear and you will never commit any mistake. So keep your journal entries, rules of journal entry clear. Yes. If I have to now decrease the value of the stock, what I'm going to do? I'm going to credit the stock. Getting the correct answers, Rahul, Chaitanya, Purv. Yes, these are the ones who are answering. What about others? Aman is also correct. Yes, Aman correct. Brahmishta correct. Yes, revaluation account debited to stock. Now, once we have decreased the value of the stock, fine, this will be taken over by A at the decreased value, that is 40,000. Fine. So it's very simple. We just have to increase or decrease the value of the asset. The only thing that we have to analyze is by whether the asset is increasing or decreasing. Sometimes a twist can be given in the question, and by what amount. Fine. It's usually simple. There might be one adjustment in the question that is tricky. Fine. So we have to learn to analyze each and every situation correctly. Now, children, before I move to this adjustment, bad debts, provision for bad debts, and provision for discount on debtors, I'll just request you to just erase whatever you have in your mind of class 11, because what you were doing in class 11th in financial statements, bad debts plus additional bad debts minus provision, minus old provision, minus new provision, just remove that from your mind completely, because it is going to create a confusion. Otherwise, it is going to create a confusion in your mind while preparing revaluation account. Just understand the simple concept. If I have to write off any expense like salary, electricity, any expense you take off, cartage, audit fees, legal fees, any expense, think of any XYZ expense, what we do? Fine. We first incur the expense to cash. Suppose I'm taking an example of salary. We paid salaries. So my first journal entry is salary to cash. Fine. Then what do we do at the end of the year? We pay salary throughout the year. Every month we are paying this firm is paying the salary, and at the end of year, what journal entry is being passed? Expenses written off. And how it is written off? It is being transferred to profit and loss account. It can be to trading account also. So once we have incurred the expense, we write it off through P&L account. But for all these expenses, we have not created any provision or reserve. But for certain expenses, firm creates provision and reserves. And provision and reserves, children, these are like savings. These are our savings. Now, what is the order of writing of expense for which we have created provision and reserves? Like we have studied, if there is a workman compensation claim, from where do we write it off? We create that claim from workman compensation reserve. Fine. If there is a decrease in the value of investments, and if we have IFR, investment fluctuation reserve, from where we are going to create that, from where we are going to compensate that loss or decrease in the value? Through investment fluctuation reserve. Similarly, we create provisions also, like provision for doubtful debts, provision for tax, provision for depreciation. So all those expenses are going to be written off from provisions, not from P&L account. I explained you like this also, that savings, your savings, whatever, if you have saved for any purpose, then that expenditure has to be met first from your savings. And if your savings are not enough, then you're going to Then you're going to ask your parent, and parent is PNL or revaluation account. And if you don't have any savings, then that expense, suppose you want to buy new books, new registers, you have not saved for that. What you're going to do? You're going to ask your parents for the money. And the parent in case of accounting is PNL or revaluation account. Fine. And if you have saved the money for the books, what will you do? You will first utilize your savings, and if your savings are not enough, but you need to buy the books, fine. If your savings are not enough, what you're going to do? You're going to ask your parents for the balance or for the difference amount. Fine. So first the expenses incurred, then expenses first written off through provision and reserve made for that purpose. Fine. An expense over and above the provision is charged to P&L account. But since we are not preparing P&L account, we are preparing revaluation account here at the time of reconstitution. So any expense, excess expense will be written off through revaluation account. Fine. So I'm taking all the possible cases of bad debts, provision for bad debts. If you want to note down this, note down. This is very important. This is one point where most of the children commit the mistake while preparing revaluation account. And if your revaluation account profit or loss goes wrong, the whole question will go wrong automatically. Your partner's capital account balance will be wrong. Your balance sheet will be wrong. So these are all interconnected. So first step, that is preparation of revaluation account, has to be done correctly. And for this, and this adjustment is definitely going to be there in the question. It can be in any of the case, but one adjustment of provision for doubtful debts is definitely going to be there. Fine. So I'm taking an example. Debtors are given to you at 1 lakh and provision for doubtful debts is given to you at 20,000. I have given you reserves on the credit side also. So these are my free reserves. These will be distributed, fine, amongst the partners in their old profit sharing ratio. Now, children, provision. Provision is also a liability. This is also my saving, but I'm not showing it on the credit side. I'm showing it as a deduction from the debtors. This is just a way of presentation which is prevailing. Fine. This does not mean that my debtors are of value of 80,000. My debtors are of 1 lakh rupees only. Fine. This is the major confusion in the mind of the students because of the presentation. But you will be given like this only. Fine. So this is, I have just deducted the provision that my good debts, these are my gross debtors, and these, if debtors of 20,000 prove to be bad, fine, then my net amount that I'm going to recover is 80,000. But my gross debtors are 1 lakh. I have created the provision. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to ask them for the payment. Fine. So I'm taking, suppose the adjustment says that provision for doubtful debts to be maintained at 25%. You can note down, provision for doubtful debts is always made on gross debtors. Provision for doubtful debts is always made on gross debtors, that is 1 lakh. This is my 1 lakh is my gross debtors, and 80,000 is my net debtors, and provision is always made on gross debtors. So what I'm going to, how much provision do I require? 25% of 1 lakh. 25% of 1 lakh, that is 25,000. But how much provision do I already have? I already have 20,000, and provision is a charge against the profit. Provision is a charge against the profit. So I am going to create provision from revaluation account. Here we are preparing revaluation account. So the excess provision that I require will be made from revaluation account. So my journal entry will be revaluation account debited to provision for doubtful debts. Do note down all these cases. These are very important, and these will help you help you understand the concept in a sequence. Fine. Now, at what value my debtors will appear in the new balance sheet? Now, I have a question. What value my debtors will appear in the new balance sheet, and what will be the amount of provision in the new balance sheet? Have I changed the amount of debtors? Yes, no, I haven't changed the amount of debtors. I have only changed the amount of provision. I require more savings. I required saving of 25,000. So I have created more savings, and savings are also, from where do you take the amount, your pocket money? From your parents? Whatever amount you're saving out of your pocket money is taken from your parents. So revaluation account is the parent account here. I'm taking the money from revaluation account for the savings that I require. And provision and reserves have a credit balance. So my debtors will appear at 1 lakh and provision will appear at 25,000. Provision will appear at 25,000. Quickly taking the another case, which is similar to this one only. Fine. Same. 1 lakh minus 20,000 reserves. I'm giving it intentionally. I'll be using this reserve in later one of the adjustment. But till then, reserves will be distributed. But provision is to be maintained at 15%. Now, how much provision do I require? Yes, children, I want you to answer now. How much provision do I require? Because if you calculate it yourself, then the concept is, yes, very good, very good. So you have understood how much provision is required? 15,000. But how much provision do I have? I have 20,000. I have excess provision of 5,000. Correct answer. So that means you have understood that provision of percentage of provision is to be calculated on gross debtors. This is just, I was checking whether you have understood this or not. Very correct, all of you. Fine. So when I have to decrease my provision, how I'm going to decrease my provision? Fine. The provisions have a credit balance. If I have to decrease the liability, this is going to be debited. And what is going to be credited? Revaluation account. I don't need the saving anymore. I have excess savings, so I'm going to return it to my parent. Fine. That is revaluation account. So my debtors will appear at which value? My debtors will appear at, yes. Is the amount of debtors going to change in the new balance sheet? Yes. No. No, Aman, not 85,000. I said debtors, gross debtors are going to appear at 1 lakh only. It's only the provision. Yes, of course, your net amount is going to change. But if I ask you debtors are not going to change. Debtors are going to appear at 1 lakh. Fine. I hope I'm clear, Aman. Fine. So debtors are going to appear at 1 lakh. My provision is going to decrease by 15,000 to 15,000 and net debtors will appear at 85,000. Next case. I'm giving you provision for doubtful debts to be increased by 5,000. Instead of percentage, now I have given you directly amount that it has to be increased by 5,000. I think it is same as the first case. Here, instead of percentage, I have given you the amount. Fine. So revaluation to provision for doubtful debts. I have increased the provision by 5,000. And from where I have increased the provision? Yes, I have increased the provision through revaluation account. I'm going to do this saving through my revaluation account. So my debtors have remained same. When I'm changing the provision, my gross debtors have remained same. It is only my estimate about the bad debts that I'm changing. It is only the provision that I'm making for bad and doubtful debts is changing. So my provision will increase to 25,000. Provision will increase to, in the new balance sheet, it will appear at 25,000. It has increased by 5,000. You can write down the new provision will appear at 25,000. Now again, now what is done? I have given you provision for doubtful debts to be increased to 25,000. Now I want the journal entry with amount from you people. I want the journal entry with amount. Yes, correct. Getting the correct entries, very good. So you have understood the thing was that I wanted to see whether you have understood the difference between to and by that we have discussed in the last class. Fine. Revaluation to provision for doubtful debts. Very good. I'll acknowledge, if I'm not able to acknowledge right now, I'll acknowledge it after the class. Revaluation to provision for doubtful debts, 5,000. And my provision will appear in the new balance sheet at 25,000. So in all the four cases that we have discussed, there were no bad debts. Fine. We have just changed the amount of provision. We have just changed the amount of provision. Now I'm going to add on bad debts also. Fine. So step by step, I'm going to add on the things. Example remains the same. Your debtors are 1 lakh, your provision is 20,000, and your net debtors are 80,000. Now you are given nothing about provision. You're given only bad debts worth 25,000. Bad debts were 25,000. On the date of reconstitution, you came to know that there are debtors of 25,000 which are not going to pay us. Fine. So expense has been incurred. So what will be my first journal entry? This case, I'm explaining it to you. Yes. First, now provisions were savings. We were directly increasing or decreasing the amount. Now, bad debts. For bad debts, you have to first pass the entry bad debts to debtors. Your first entry will be incurring the expense. And what is the journal entry for this expense? Bad debts. Bad debts is a non-cash expenditure. I am not spending anything. Bad debts is my expense and my debtors are decreasing. Fine. And then the next step is I write off this expense of 25,000. Since there is a provision for this expense, I'm going to write it off first from the provision, that is 20,000, and any excess is to be written off through revaluation account. Any excess is to be written off through revaluation account. Fine. So this is the sequence that you are going to follow. This is the sequence that you have to remember. Please forget that bad debts, additional bad debts, plus new provision, minus provision. Just erase that off from your mind. Fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge 5,000 from revaluation account. Now, at what value my debtors will appear in the new balance sheet? When I'm saying debtors, it means gross debtors. Fine. At what value my debtors will appear in the new balance sheet? Getting different answers. That is what I was expecting. This concept has to be clarified now. Khushi is correct. Poor Brahmishta, they are correct. Our debtors, see the first entry. Debtors have So I'm getting a mixed response. Debtors having decreased by 25,000. So my debtors will appear at 75,000 in the new balance sheet. And since I have utilized all the provision, I have utilized the provision of 20,000 in writing off the bad debts. So provision will not be appearing in the new balance sheet. If I'm asked to create new provision, then I'll create the new provision. In this particular situation, I have not been asked to create the provision. So debtors will appear in the new balance sheet at 75,000. Fine. And what mistake the children commit is they learn decrease in the value of debtors is to be done through revaluation account, or bad debts have to be done through revaluation account. They don't think that the bad debts are going to decrease their debtors as well. This is a very common mistake. Fine. So if you are incurring bad debts, this is going to decrease your debtors as well as provision, because this is your expense. Fine. This is your non-cash expenditure. Bad debts to debtors, and then how you're going to write it off through provision or revaluation account. Now, if the bad debts are 15,000, now you tell me the entries. I want the entries, not the entry. Yes, first entry, very correct. Yes, very good. Why only few are active? What about others? Yes, yes, got new from new faces. I'm also getting the answers now. Yes, very correct. So my first journal entry will be bad debts to debtors. My first entry will be bad debts to debtors. Children, I don't know the names exactly. Please write your names also so that I can acknowledge your names. Fine. Bad debts, those who have not understood the previous thing, this will be taken up here also. You can understand from here also. So my bad debts have been 15,000. My bad debts have been 15,000. Just a minute, children. Let me make. My bad debts are 15,000. So my journal entry is bad debts to debtors. And from where I'm going to write off this? I'm going to write off this expense from. Yes, I hope it's clear. I'm going to write it off from. Yes, Ayushi, first entry was correct. Now, from where I'm going to write off this bad debt, these bad debts of 15,000. I'm going to write it off from provision. Very correct. Since I have enough provision to write off these bad debts, so complete 15,000 will be written off from. So complete 15,000 will be written off from provision for doubtful debts. Getting the correct answers. So that means you have understood. I hope those who are not answering, they have also understood. Fine. So my debtors, at what value my debtors are going to appear, and at what value, and will the provision appear in the new balance sheet or not? Yes, don't raise your hands, children. You can ask me later on through my email ID. Debtors will appear at 85,000 and provision will appear at 5,000. Since out of this 20,000, I have utilized 15,000. Fine. So my debtors will appear at 85,000 and my provision will appear at 5,000. So what will be the amount of net debtors in the new balance sheet? Amount of net debtors. Amount of net debtors will be, yes, 80,000. 85 minus 5, that is 80,000. Yes, a child has asked the query from the first, this one, why revaluation account has not been used. I explained you just a minute before that when we have, for a particular expense, for bad debts, we have created the savings in the form of provision for doubtful debts. And when we have provision for any expenditure, it has to be first written off through provision, and if the provision is not enough, then it has to be written off through revaluation account. Fine. So here I'm incurring an expense of 15,000 and my provision is enough to write off this expenditure. Fine. It is clear now. Now I'm taking both the cases. Earlier in first 4 cases, I've taken only provision. In the next few cases, I took only bad debts. Now there are bad debts of 25,000 and provision is to be maintained at 10%. Provision is to be maintained at 10%. So what will be my journal entry for bad debts? Bad debts to debtors. Fine. From where I'm going to write off this? From where I'm going to write off this bad debts? Yes, I want the answer. Are my savings enough to write off this? Are my provisions enough to write off these bad debts? Yes, of course not. My provision is 20,000 and I have incurred expenditure of 25,000. So I am going to write it off from excess amount. I'm going to utilize, I'm going to take the help of revaluation account. Fine. So excess, I'm going to take the help of revaluation account. So my journal entry will be provision for doubtful debts, revaluation account to bad debts. I've given you the answer. As we have discussed earlier also, bad debtors will appear in the new balance sheet. My gross debtors will appear at 75,000 because debtors have decreased by 25,000. Now my question is, I require to maintain provision at the rate of 10%. I require to maintain provision at the rate of 10%. So how much provision do I require in the new balance sheet? How much provision do I require in the new balance sheet? Yes, correct. Yes, very correct. Correct. Apur, Aman, Chaitanya, correct. Very correct. Hardik Jain. Hardik, you correct your you understand the concept now. 25,000 has been written off. 25,000 to have been bad debts. So my debtors, gross debtors are 75,000 and provision is to be created on gross debtors. That is 10% on 75. Those who have thought 10,000, please. Fine. 75,000, 10% of 75,000 is 7,500. So I need provision of 7,500. Have I left with, is there any provision left after writing off bad debts? There is no provision left after writing off bad debts. The whole of the provision has been utilized. So I have to completely create a new provision of 10% of 75,000, that is 7,500. And from where I'm going to create this provision? Yes. From where do you create your savings? Even if you want your pocket money or you want to save something, from where you are going to ask the money for? You're going to ask the money from your parents, that is revaluation account. So my revaluation account will be debited and my savings will appear at 7,500. So in the new balance sheet, my debtors will appear at 75,000 and provision for doubtful debts will appear at 7,500. Provision for doubtful debts will appear at 7,500. I hope this was clear. Any doubt in this, children, do ask me after the class. Don't keep your doubts with yourself. Don't hesitate in asking the doubts, because this concept is going to be asked in any of the forms in the question. If you start doing the question of revaluation accounts or admission of a partner, you will see in each and every question there is a adjustment regarding debtors or bad debts. Yes, someone has asked the last entry. That's good. You're asking the doubts, but yes, we have you utilized all. Yes, child. See, we have utilized all the all the provision that was existing on the date of reconstitution in writing off bad debts. We have debited provision for doubtful debts by 20,000. This is my credit balance. This is my debit balance. That means it has been nullified. So I have been left with no provision, but I require provision at the rate of 10%. That is 10% on gross debtors of 75,000. So from where I'm going to create this provision? Provision is a charge against the profit. So I'm going to create the provision from revaluation account. This is a liability I'm going to create. You can understand it like this also. Provision for doubtful debts is an increased liability. An increase in liability is done through revaluation account. Let's take the next case. Same example I'm taking for a better clarity. Bad debts were 15,000 and provision is to be maintained at the rate of 10%. We can quickly take up this case. Fine. So my bad debts to debtors are 15,000. And I'm going to write off these bad debts of 15,000 from provision for doubtful debts, as provision is there, as my savings are there. I'm going to write off this expense from my provision. And as my provision is sufficient enough to bear this expenditure, I am utilizing this whole provision. I'm not utilizing revaluation account. Fine. So once I have done this, my debtors will appear. My debtors have fallen down from 1 lakh to 85,000. And my provision for doubtful debts. My provision for doubtful debts is there. I have utilized out of 20,000. I have utilized 5,000. Fine. I have utilized I have utilized 15,000. So 5,000 is left with us. How much provision do I require? I require 10% of 85,000. That is 10% of 85,000. That comes out to 8,500. I have to create provision on gross debtors, and my gross debtors after bad debts are 85,000. I require a provision of 8,500. Fine. I require a saving. In other words, I can say I require a saving of 8,500, but I already have a saving of 5,000. So how much more do I need from my parents? Fine, to make it 8,500. I need savings of 8,500, but I have 5,000 with me. So how much more do I need? I need 3,500 more. And this 3,500 will be taken from revaluation account. Revaluation account debited to provision for doubtful debts. Revaluation account debited to provision for doubtful debts. That is 3,500. I hope it is clear. We are creating provision on gross debtors left. You can write this down. You can write these steps. First, bad debts. Then we have to write off the bad debts. Then provision has to be created on gross debtors after writing off the bad debts. Gross debtors after writing off the bad debts. And then you compare it. How much provision do I need? 8,500. How much provision? In the earlier case, we were not left with any provision. So we created the whole new provision from revaluation account. Here we are left with 5,000 provision. So we are creating the balance 3,500 from revaluation account. Yes, children, I'll send you an assignment regarding this, which have further more cases, so that for the next class you are just go through this, try those further adjustments. There's just 3 4 left regarding to provision for doubtful debts. Fine. So do practice that assignment, and if there is any doubt, do ask. Don't hesitate. This is an important adjustment, and I want none of you to commit mistake in this. Fine. So that's all for today. Have a great day. Keep yourself safe, children.